welcome to the Is It Cool or Just Nostalgia podcast. We are officially on our first episode. Yay, first episode.
Yay. Forced laughter here.
Yeah, forced laughter. So the rule for this podcast is exactly as it says. It's something cool or nostalgia. So we're going to be going through things that we grew up with that we still love today. But do we love that thing because it's actually still cool? If it released today and nobody had any prior knowledge of it and we saw it as an adult, would we still love it? Or is everything we love about it just the nostalgic feelings from when we were a kid? So my name's Jeffrey, and we got some other people here.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Michael.
And I guess I'm Mike number 2.
You got Mike and Mike the Deuce.
He's my deuce.
Maybe you need a buffer in between you guys and fully.
No.
We are collectively the Mikes.
We are the Mike.
That's the Mike
The
corner.
Mikes are legion.
That's the Mike corner.
Everybody who's named Mike knows this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, we have the Mike corner and then the other folk. But no, so it is a time of year where everyone's thinking holidays, and that means Christmas movies, right? And so we all kind of watch different things. I watch, Elf every single year because my wife turned me onto that, and she that is a must watch for her every single year. So with the idea of the season, thought it'd be fun to just talk about nostalgic Christmas memories and things that we still think are part of our yearly Christmas stuff. So Mike number 1, you want to start us off? What are you bringing today?
Do you want to pull up the topics?
Well, we can. Well, are we going to just introduce our topics? I guess.
Yeah, I figured
just as we go.
Introduce your topic and start talking about it.
My topic, pretty much today, is the old Christmas animated TV shows. Some of them, in my opinion, might not hold up today, but some people might still love them. I'm actually curious about that. However, what I can do is I can bring up the stop motion animated Christmas specials. So pretty much just what I was kind of like grew up with was these guys here. This stuff that was absolute nightmare fuel.
All that claymation.
Some of the claymation, stop motion, everything like that. When I was a little bitty kid, I would have nightmares about this stuff, like absolute nightmares about it. But then I got a little older and everything kind of got a little bit better. And as an adult, I look back at it and I feel like it was formative. But I don't know. I don't know if it was cool.
It taught me what should be scared of and what not to be scared of.
Right. So I feel like a lot of this stuff is not actually cool. I think kids today have a lot more access to different, really nice looking animation, Christmas specials, holiday specials, not necessarily just Christmas, but any holiday stuff. And this stuff for me was nightmare fuel. I am curious if they still show these anywhere, if any kid even watches them on a streaming service or anything like that. But I'm absolutely of the opinion that this stuff does not hold up today and is definitely a nostalgia thing if people still like it. Because even like I said, I thought it might have been cool, but no, I went back and looked. It's not. It's absolutely nostalgia for me.
So there are some of these movies, like Rudolph in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up with that
There
one.
are actually scary scenes in them.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I would say, like a pretty common trope in Christmas in general. Like scary ghost stories, and the song and all that. Like there's supposed to be a little bit of spookiness to Christmas.
Dickensian spookiness.
Right. That
we've
kind
all
of
come
lost.
from like old fables, and they've just been kind of like Disneyfied, sort of.
Yeah, most of the old fables, story like what is it, Grimm fairy tales are super popular, and like those have been adapted and made like more Disneyfied is like probably the best word for it. And those things, the original ones, are scary. Like they are, and so I feel like some of this stuff, even though it's been like, it has some scenes that are like kind of dark, even just the animation alone.
So you're saying like not even just the things that were purposefully scary.
The aesthetic, like the stop motion and the claymation and stuff like that, just the way some things were. Like even like Rudolph's nose, I thought would burst at any point.
Well, it's probably because these movies came out in like what, like I mean, the 50s. I mean,
I actually don't know. Like,
I feel like they're pretty old because they were old when I was young,
He-
and so I feel like it was early stop motion. So that's part of like some of the jankiness, which might cause because like it's almost like they're moving like a zombie the way they're like.
So let me ask this, like, to listeners. I grew up in India,
64.
Okay.
right? So I don't know. I did not grow up with these specific ones, but I know of these from cultural references in later shows. Like Community has an episode that is fully this.
Mm.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
How does this come up in
everything.
Community? How does this come up?
An entire episode is in claymation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they try to heal Abed by like having him imagine in a way.
Yeah, because aren't they like inside his head or something like that?
All right. Your mic is facing me, dude.
I don't know which way is. We tested it this way and it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
fine.
That's fine. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt the episode.
So there, it's
Technical
from 1964,
Uh-huh,
and you were
yeah.
still watching in what year were you watching it? 80s.
It was in the
Yeah,
80s,
I was late
80s,
80s.
late
I was
80s,
watching
early
it, yeah.
90s. I was watching this because they play them every year. They probably still play them on cable and stuff like that.
Yeah, like because I grew up with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one and Frosty the Snowman. There's some other ones in there that we could see in the search that I was like, I don't know those. Those look a little freaky. But I do remember like the what's the Abominable Snowman,
Yeah.
where everyone's kind of like,
Well, he's a
"Ah,"
central
like that. But
part
later
of
on,
the
it was just
Rudolph.
like he's all nice later.
Well, he's nice because he gets his teeth fixed.
yeah,
And
he
he's all
just
fine.
needed a dentist, the
Right.
dentist elf.
But I mean, so what would you say about these does not hold up?
Well, I mean, look at this. This is nightmare fuel right here.
The Carol of the Penguin?
Whoa.
I
yeah,
don't even know
Yeah,
this. So this
ju-
has got to be some short or something.
it could be. I don't know.
We're looking at the penguin.
When I
in front
think
of
about
Bell's.
that, and even if this is not from like my childhood, this is exactly what I remember. Is how scary this is. That is what I don't think holds up.
Well,
Is
you know
I
what they-
love claymation.
So I'm
stuff,
guessing
but
you're
there's-
firmly on the side of this is nostalgia.
This is nostalgia. I am in, like there's something about claymation in general I think is just infinitely creepy. And then you just add in like something like Christmas that should be like fun and
so you're saying
celebrating.
you weren't like a big Gumby fan as a kid?
I wasn't a big Gumby fan. I still don't like A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I loved Gumby when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I love Charlie Brown's Christmas special.
Well, yeah, but
But
that's,
that's
not
not
claymation.
claymation.
Animated.
That's not
That's
claymation.
They
animated.
said animated.
Yeah, no. I
But
said
well,
no.
if we're on claymation,
No.
So if
I meant the Christmas. This is the specific type of special. Like you see, like they had these things, and they basically
With
Yeah.
physical
it's not even
objects.
claymation because those aren't even clay. It's
That's
just it's
a
stop
lint.
motion.
Yeah,
felt-
stop motion.
It's
Yeah,
stop
that's really
motion
what it is.
claymation. Claymation is stop motion, but it's just with clay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just this stuff and the poses that they have. Like Rudolph will have like this look with
He
the
does have some
eyeball.
creepy eyes.
And yeah, the creepy eyes, that nose. I always thought that nose was gonna.
Okay, one thing
explode.
about the nose that did really annoy me and still does is his nose when it lights up, it makes a really annoying noise.
Oh, the whole. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, everybody listening to the podcast just heard us make that noise, and they were like, "Stop!
Yeah.
I'm done."
I
You
don't
had to
get,
give
like,
an example, apparently.
I
All
don't
four of
get
us.
how in that time period they played that and then they thought that sounds like a nose lighting up.
Yeah,
Right.
What
right.
point of it?
Maybe
Yes.
back in the 60s, that's how it sounded
Somebody
whenever
was
you
hired
turned on
to
the
be
lights. I don't
special effects guy, and they got to the end of it, and they put in the special effect, and they're just like, or not special effects, the sound effects guy, and they're like going, we don't have any time left, we got to roll with this.
But hey,
I think that
yeah. It was just a placeholder, and they ran out of time.
Yeah, it had to happen that way.
like
Like,
some dude who had his like slide whistle.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
oh,
Well,
this is Jack Frost. This is another
Oh
one.
yeah.
God,
This
that
one
is
too.
just nightmare
see,
fuel.
that
looks
one
cool
I've
as
never
hell, I
seen.
think. I
I've
haven't
never seen that.
I
one.
haven't. I'm going through this list of like top 10 of these. I've not seen that one. I've not seen that one. I have maybe seen that one.
Really?
Jack Frost, I've definitely seen, and that
But
is
see,
Nightmare
now that I
Fuel.
think of Frosty, that's actually a cartoon.
Oh,
That's
God,
not
baby.
stop
Yeah,
motion. Now that I
look
think
at
about it. So
baby.
it's just Rudolph that
Rudolph.
I watch because
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one that
Frosty was
well,
a cartoon.
I know they had a lot more of these, but I also, for context, I grew up in a tiny farm town. We had 4 channels. for most of my life growing up, we had like 4 channels. And then later on, we got a little bit older channel. We got a little bit more channels.
What is that?
What is that?
Time to focus.
That's a focus timer? Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This is my
Focus.
first episode issues, man.
Hey, exactly.
It's all right.
They get to see all the technical stuff.
so,
we try to
Jeffrey
get
can edit that out.
Whenever I see these things, my biggest fear of these old things is, oh no,
That's a little
there's
creepy.
gonna be a
That's a little
something,
creepy.
like a culturally really insensitive, cringy thing will pop up.
Oh, and they often
Like,
did.
they often
Like
did,
I don't
I know.
I don't think I
Yeah.
can think of a specific example from
Or you
like
get-
Rudolph or something like that. But like that was very commonplace, you know.
Oh yeah, like some sort of stereotype or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
From,
Yeah.
like somebody who didn't celebrate Christmas, for example, like just anywhere from like all over the world, like and they would just have like some stereotype, and that was so common.
When you go and
And
you
you go
watch
through
it today, you're just like, oh, I loved this when I was a kid. You
Yeah.
like try to show your family, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah,
oh.
and it's funny because like it's hard to judge things because they were made for the time they were made. But yeah, it's like that could be kind of rough. It
Right,
could be
right.
rough. So,
So I think you were firmly on the nostalgia train.
I did like this one.
So-
though. I think this one actually was like.
Oh,
last
there
time.
was a special.
Oh, I didn't see that
Rudolph
one.
and
I
Frosty.
only saw the
'Cause
cartoon.
The Frosty, he was awesome. He had a wonderful voice, a very deep voice. It was very like yeah. So
Well,
that
wasn't
one's
it,
cool.
like-
That one's cool.
A famous crooner or something who played him. What's like Burl Ives? What's it say in the description there?
Let's see. I don't see.
I don't
Oh,
see a name
nothing.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, I could IMDb
Well,
it.
I think we've covered that, so we know we're nostalgia. So we'll all vote on that later to see if we agree with them or not. Who wants to go next? Mike the Deuce or Andy?
I can go.
All right.
I picked. So there might be a theme to what I pick always, but I watch a lot of movies. I picked Home Alone.
Jackie Vernon.
Home Alone.
Yes. And I think, and I've seen it also recently, I think most of it, sometimes it might take some alcohol, but most of it still holds up. John Williams' movie score absolutely.
Oh,
John
Banger.
Williams. is
without
amazing.
question.
Well, you listen to the music in this,
Yeah.
and it brings a tear to your eye. It's so
Yeah.
good. Like it
And,
just
and I'll give my personal, for like the story is, for me, what Christmas in America as a benchmark was this movie.
Oh yeah.
So I assumed people lived in a house
Selfish
like that.
people who left their kid at home and didn't realize. That's the benchmark.
That's
in
America for you. Wow.
they weren't selfish. They had a reason.
I mean, they were
and-
kind of
See-
self-centered, trying to go on vacation, and they couldn't even account for their.
Some
kids.
guy
Yeah.
mentioning.
It's just like he's doing all these.
Well, 'cause before
movies
that,
for
he'd always played, like,
Scorsese, and then he's
mobsters
in
and stuff,
Home
right?
Alone.
Yeah, he was in
in the
Scorsese.
middle.
Well, then he was also in like not to be on a tangent here, but it was what's the one where he was like the Italian guy with the lady who did the famous court scene where she rattled.
My cousin
Vinny.
Vinny.
My cousin
Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah,
But
fantastic.
Even,
Joe Pesci movie.
even my cousin Vinny is a little in his thing, but this one is he plays that role really well.
Yeah.
Well, what about John Candy as a polka star?
Oh yeah,
he's very heartwarming.
Polka,
Yeah.
polka, polka.
Just
so
like
I think it's both nostalgia and good. I think there are parts of it in nostalgia, and it's a kid. There are some cringe moments when you see and you go like, "Oh, it's kind of unbelievable." But like I said, majority of it still holds up.
Like stepping on micro machines and going, whoa, and falling down.
Yeah, those. Look, I would have believed it for Legos, but you just
Well, that won't make you go, what? That'll just make you go, oh, mother. And just,
How
Yeah.
old were you the first time you saw Home Alone?
I was probably between the ages of 7 to 9 or 10. And I saw
So some
first one. Second one
impressionable
is
years.
I'm alone in New York, right? Third one is like made years later.
after Home Alone 2, the others don't exist.
Yeah, the others don't exist.
You have Home Alone 1 and 2, the others don't exist.
Wait, there are more
Is
than
it-
two?
There's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that.
is there any in
I
like
thought
in
there was only
recent years or
two.
like
Yeah.
that they
There's
pulled
one within the
Macaulay
last,
Culkin back?
like,
Maybe
5 or
Cash
6 years.
Grab- Cash
Wow.
grabby?
So my guess is like anything past two did not have Macaulay Culkin.
No, it did not.
Okay.
No. Third was
Well, what
their
about-
last
so-
sincere attempt. Yeah.
I mean, did Macaulay Culkin ever come back?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No.
I could have sworn I had seen something.
I would actually love for them to do
The
it
guy
in
that
Home
plays his
Alone
older
with Macaulay
brother,
Culkin.
I think, was
And
in
his
the most
brother.
recent one as like a cop or something
Yeah.
like that. And I don't recall if he was actually playing the same character or not, if he just happened to have a cameo in it. But no, like, I think I saw Home Alone 3 when it came out, and I was like, this sucks. Then I just didn't touch the rest of them.
I think that'd be a good one where you just have Macaulay Culkin come back as the dad now. And just and
Oh,
do
now
some
he's the
for-
one leaving his kid home?
Yeah, because he's living the good life now. Like, because he went through some rough times, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. But he's living the good life now. He's cleaned up everything, and his brother is also now a pretty well-known actor. So get him in the mix too, and that would be fantastic. I would love to see that.
No. Yeah, he's the older person now. He's that, but he's still the one that gets left behind. But it's like Home Alone / Taken, because they go darker with it.
Oh Jesus!
And the wet bandits come back, and we're here for blood, and they like take him and they're trying to torture
the
him.
wet bandits come with their
And-
army.
and the
John
kids had to
Wick.
save him.
That's
Yeah,
wow.
It's John Wick style fighting. It's
Yeah.
all
Have you guys
bloody.
seen Violent Night?
yes.
That is okay. It's more like Die Hard, but like
Wait,
it's
Santa's
almost
gonna
that
show
same
up?
thing. Dude, like that. Okay, I'm on board with that. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I think that'd be good.
Joe Pesci is the mobster, like a full out mobster who's like,
Yeah, he's
put
now
a
more
hit
like
out
what
on
he
the
was.
kid.
Like
They're
Casino
supposed
stuff.
to be reformed, I think. Like they should change
Hey,
their
people
ways.
people sometimes hard times. It's hard times, You got to do what you got to do.
Today's
Joe
economy.
Pesci would know what
He's
to do.
he's in the jail going, that kid. That
Yeah,
kid put me
he's
here.
sitting-
I'm going
Yeah.
out Sunday.
Yeah, he's just been staring at a
Making
wall for like
plans.
30
Yeah,
years.
instead of like part 2 where they
Devising
stumble
his
across
plan.
him, they like outright look for him, kidnap him.
Yeah.
So, oh goodness. All right. Well, then, just because I know my pick's going to be a bit controversial, we'll say. Let's go with the Deuce over there.
Okay, so my pick for today is A Christmas Story. This one is a classic. I'm sure, I hope all of you know about this one. But in my family, it's definitely been a tradition to watch this every single year. And I will say, though, I am slightly disappointed. In more recent years, we have stopped doing that tradition, and it's more like, if it's on, we'll put it on, and it can be in the background and whatnot. But it definitely, especially when I was young, this was a staple during Christmas time.
Do they still have the channel that like plays the
TBS.
movie over and over for
TBS for
24 hours on
24
Christmas? Yeah,
Yeah.
they still do that.
Still have it.
Now, I will say I cannot take 24 hours straight of this.
But that means every Christmas it is on. You
That
could
actually
go
fits
turn it
into
on.
what you just said. It's
Yeah.
like have it on in the background. It is a wonderful movie. Like you're decorating the Christmas tree, right? And you just need something on the background. And it's like, oh, I'm sick of Christmas music already. I've already been to tons of department stores. You can have this movie on the background. It is fantastic.
Well, so that's one other thing that I think also makes this movie great is that these scenes are like, for lack of a better comparison, things like Family Guy, where it's like each scene is this own little containerized bubble.
yeah, they're almost
of
like
a
stories. Yeah. There's
and-
sometimes very
the-
like it's almost lacking like the connective tissue, but that's part of the charm.
Right. Yeah. It's like you're able to almost digest it in bite-sized pieces
Yep.
without having to really see the whole thing in one go. In fact, I would probably say the first few times I've seen this movie, I did not watch it all in one go. It was always piece by piece. I was a kid, I'm not going to be all interested in, watching a full movie that isn't animated in some fashion, right?
Now, if I remember hearing you guys talk about this once before, you have not seen part 2.
Yeah, so that's funny you bring this up because we were just talking about all the Home Alones. Apparently, there is a Christmas Story 2, which came out, what was it, last year, a couple of years ago?
I don't know, I've
It
never
was
seen it.
super recent.
It's very recent, yes.
It apparently did not do so well.
2022.
No, it
Oh,
was not
2012.
recent. Yeah, it
Whoa.
was 14 years ago. So yeah,
No,
pretty much
That's-
last
no
year.
way.
That's not the same thing.
A
That's
That's
gotta
not
be
the
a
recent one.
farce. That's not the real.
No, there's a 2022 version,
Yeah.
A Christmas Story Christmas.
Christmas
Christmas
Story.
Where
for
Ralphie
Christmas.
returns.
2022. There we
That's
go.
the one we're talking
Yeah,
about.
Christmas Story. Okay.
And this is
there
about
is a part
Ralphie all
two.
grown up
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well-
this one I would probably watch.
All right, so I want to know, is he like super, super sick throughout the whole movie? Because I don't see how that family doesn't
seen
have
it.
some kind of issues with no, not this.
Oh.
Part one,
Soap.
they're constantly, like what, every other day, that black smog just floating
yeah.
through the kitchen. How do you not have lung problems?
You know what? I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah, I'm just.
I think that was so it is set in the 50s or 40s or something, right?
50s,
Movie
I think.
set in,
Yeah.
like,
I think
old.
50s.
The movie came out in what?
I think
83.
that's a caricature
Stories.
probably off the cooking of the.
It's
There you
set
go.
in the 40s.
1940s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's interesting also about this is that I didn't know. It's based off some books basically that also turned into screenplays, and this is like the third one in the series.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah. The guy who wrote the stories wrote many different ones, and a lot of them turned into movies.
So is that maybe why,
Oh.
like, there's
And they
almost-
they all followed the same family too.
I found the book name. Really cool book name. In God We Trust. All others pay cash.
auditors pay cash.
That's the book title.
I don't know about that
All
one.
right.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting because like this isn't the only story around that family, and in all of these stories, it's like told from a first person perspective too, where the narrator is the character in the movie.
So they.
Well, I want to
he
know
lists-
who the narrator was talking to. Because
Everyone.
the,
Everyone. He's just talking
no,
about
not from the movie perspective. In the quote unquote world of A Christmas Story, who was the narrator talking to? Who was he reliving this story to? Like,
Well, but
he sitting
that's the
down to
thing.
his wife talking about it? Because some of the things he was saying, I'm like, I don't see an adult ever saying that when they're talking about some story from their childhood when they're explaining something that happened.
I think it feels like he's writing it from the perspective of writing a book, like a
Yeah,
memoir.
I mean these were
It's his
books.
memoir.
Okay, that could make more
That-
sense.
I mean, that's the way I always took it. Is like he's
Okay.
literally writing his memoirs,
Right.
and that's I don't know if that's like what he was actually doing,
And-
but it sounds like it.
And not so in relation to that, these stories actually are supposed to be related to the author's actual life. They are basically mirrors of his own life. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So here's one thing. Here's just the thought. You know, in the movie, Ralphie listens to serials on the radio, like they're just called serials or whatnot. They're like stories, and he's writing little pieces of stories that they adapted into a movie, and maybe that's why everything feels containerized. Like the scene where he goes, "Oh fudge!" Like that whole scene could just be a scene, and everybody would know that scene, and not even connected to the rest of the movie.
Right.
And it just feels like it's kind of like it's like a serialized like events for this family, and like he just loves that, which he even wrote a character that also loves cereal. So I think that's not a coincidence.
Yeah. So I think this movie, it's a bit of a time capsule. So a lot of it is not super relevant today, but the family dynamic is pretty relevant. The Christmas season, the things that happen, the hijinks that the kids get into, it's all pretty relevant to today. And it's just a nice movie. I think it's not great. It's not terrible.
It's not mean spirited.
Right. It's not mean spirited.
It's got some bad things that happen, but you know,
Right.
it's all about
So-
the Christmas,
Christmas
spirit.
Ah,
Andy knows.
That's right. Yeah.
So I will say, although it is getting long in the tooth, and I'm sure there are people that are getting annoyed with it by now because of just the 24-hour TBS or whatever specials, but I still think it's cool.
Hey, you can't say that yet.
well,
you
no,
can't.
he can talk
I'm
about what
making
you
my
say.
case. This is my
We
case.
don't say what our thought is yet.
Okay, all right. So we still don't know the rules yet, or at least some of us don't. I won't call out
Episode 1.
I won't call out who doesn't know the rules, but you know.
All right. All right. So, my pick for a Christmas movie is something that just dawned on me that I don't think I've ever heard anyone discuss before as a Christmas movie. And that is Batman Returns.
No.
All right. You're immediately saying no.
Say Die Hard.
Well, I also think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but explain to me why Batman Returns is not a Christmas movie, because you're already saying no, so I know what you're going to vote.
In all in the pictures right here, let's just throw this out here. So I'm going to put up some
Oh,
images.
Michelle
Where
Pfeiffer.
do you
Show me
see
anything Christmas related.
Christmas?
any
That's
of those
fine. Okay,
photos.
any of
Wait. Scroll up,
these?
scroll
Right
up.
there, we got her first right here. We had to
No,
scroll all the way
scroll up.
down.
No,
Hold on.
Over
Let's
the
do
middle,
this.
Very
in the
recent.
middle.
Let's do this.
In the
Raise
middle?
your hand if you actually
That's
watched
been-
it
that's been
again to
forever.
prep for this podcast.
One more.
Keep-
Yeah, there it is.
No? Nobody
Where?
else?
Where?
To the left of your mouse.
Where?
Yeah, right there in the middle.
No, nobody else
To the
watched
right
it
of your
again?
mouse. Yeah.
Huh?
Look at that. It's set like a
This?
Christmas snowy movie.
Jeffrey,
To the left of that.
Don't worry about the photo.
that
It's
photo.
just
Set
the
like
bridge.
a Christmas.
it's
All right.
this isn't
No.
even a real
right.
thing.
So here you go then. Here you go. All right.
This is some
Okay.
First off, either the first or second line of the movie is literally "Merry Christmas." It takes place on Christmas or season when Penguin is born, and then it fast forwards 33 years later to the Christmas season. The opening scene after that, introducing all the grown-up characters, is literally in the town square at a Christmas tree lighting ceremony as people have been going around Christmas shopping. Catwoman, when she kills the Shrek, literally says, like, how about a kiss, Santa Claus? And then she says she's going to save another of her lives
Hold
for next Christmas. It's all on Christmas.
One second. Did you just say Catwoman kills Shrek? Is that what
think
I
she
just
means
heard?
Not
Wait,
Shrek.
not Shrek, no.
No, it's
Green
not
Screen.
Shrek.
Yeah,
It's,
isn't his name Shrek?
it's
Or is it Shek?
Yeah, it's something like that. Batman Returns. Catwoman kills. What's his name?
Yeah,
Shrek.
Shrek.
Yeah,
His name's
Shrek.
okay.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
I don't
Max
remember
Shrek.
Max
that.
Shrek.
I
No,
don't
Max
remember that
Shrek
being
kills
his name.
Selena Kyle.
Well,
The-
he kills Selena Kyle to turn her into Catwoman.
Yeah.
But no, it all takes place during the Christmas season. I'm like, the literally only thing it doesn't have is someone dressed as Santa Claus.
Okay, so now I guess is the time to discuss.
Well, I haven't even got to say why I like this movie yet. You
Well,
jumped
I don't
all
care.
over
I
the
don't
no
care.
train.
You
Yeah,
brought it up.
you're the one who brought this upon yourself.
Does a Christmas setting make a Christmas movie?
Well, then I will flat out ask, what makes a Christmas story other than Christmas being in the title? We're not counting that. What makes a Christmas story a Christmas movie and Batman Returns isn't?
I mean,
Name one thing that movie has.
okay, I can name multiple, but I'll just do one because you
ahead.
wanted one. They literally hand out gifts to each other over around a Christmas tree and open up presents.
Okay, so the only thing then, in your opinion, that makes it a Christmas movie
Consumer.
is if they're
No,
opening the
mass
presents.
I
consumer.
gave
They
you
were
one
literally-
example.
They
You
were
wanted
literally
an
going and
example.
buying the presents in the movie. You just didn't get to see them open them. So that's the difference.
That is one difference.
I have
yes.
I have a much better one that
Okay.
makes me sound a little less than attached to mass consumerism, like my kid. You got to have presents be handed out to be Christmas. So, for example, the Bumpus's dogs come through and ruin the turkey. So, what do they do to go out and have a good time as a family and celebrate Christmas and the Christmas spirit and being together? They go out to a Chinese restaurant and have Christmas duck. Like, that's what they did. And they had a wonderful time. That is one of the things that makes it a Christmas movie is the family is being brought together, even though it didn't go completely the way they wanted to. They were brought together and they had
Okay.
a wonderful time. Where is that?
They were
in
brought
Batman
together.
Returns?
They were brought together at a ball, and they were all dancing and enjoying each other's company until the Penguin shows up and stole Max
They
Shrek.
went to a party that was seasonal.
So you're saying they had to go eat at a Chinese restaurant?
No,
To be Christmas.
that's not
My
what I'm
point is, like,
saying.
Okay, hold on.
traditionally, a Christmas
If
movie
Die
takes
Hard.
place at Christmas, has Christmas stuff like Christmas trees, Christmas shopping, Santa Claus, stuff like that, and is considered a Christmas movie.
Okay, so I would say it has to be Christmas itself, something Christmas related, has to be a substantial part of the actual story.
Well, then a
Not
Christmas story is
100%.
taken out of it too. 95.
No way!
I literally just watched it yesterday. 95% of that fucking movie has nothing to do with Christmas.
Okay, how about I say at least part of the story
Mm-hmm.
has to involve something Christmas related.
Okay, so like Christmas shopping, Christmas tree lighting ceremonies, Merry Christmas,
Which you're gonna
stuff
say.
that's all in Batman
All in
Returns.
Batman Returns.
Look, if Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
I would say
Which
this
is
is more of a
not,
Christmas movie
but
than Die
okay.
Hard is.
but culturally,
It literally starts
it's-
with Christmas and ends with Christmas. I think the last line of the movie is literally "Merry
Sounds
Christmas,
like
Alfred."
Batman Returns has a better, chance of being a Christmas movie than Die Hard. Then
I think neither of them are Christmas movies, so I don't care what
I
you're-
think it boils down to the spirit, not like going
The
through a
Christmas
bullet point
spirit.
list. Does it have the Christmas spirit? That's more to my point of like the scene in the Christmas Story. Where is that in Batman Returns?
So what is the Christmas spirit then?
I told you it was like when family gets together and they're just kind of celebrating being together. Like that's part
Okay.
of the holiday spirit.
This is going to be
the
bad then
spirit
because
of
Batman's family is dead. That's not fair.
Then it can't be a
But-
Christmas. It could
This
be
is
literally a movie.
So
called
you're not allowed to
Batman
celebrate
Saves
Christmas if you have no
I can
family.
give you that one, but that also doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Wait. This is like those grim, dark.
just because his
fable
family dead, you don't
Christmas
give him
movies.
a pass.
But I'm saying, like, he hangs out with Alfred and they literally say Merry Christmas to each other. He has like dinner with Selena Kyle when they're celebrating Christmas. I'm like, come on.
Stand up there, please.
Food has arrived.
My beautiful wife, everybody.
Tell you what, yeah. Tell you what, I already know how this is going to go. Batman Returns is absolutely a Christmas movie, but
Okay, so state your
stepping
case on
away
whether
from
it's cooler
stepping
nostalgia.
away from that, let's
Yeah.
get to the cooler
All right,
nostalgia.
all right.
Yes, this is the sequel to the original Batman. The original Batman broke the internet before the internet was a thing because of the Batman craze when the first movie was coming out. And this was a direct follow-up to that movie just a couple years afterwards, and I would argue is the better of the two between Batman and Batman Returns. It's definitely the better when you include all the other the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. The heck with those movies.
I liked Batman Forever.
I like Batman and Robin.
Oh my!
Oh, you're
God,
one
man.
of those? Oh my god!
Well, who was that?
Oh,
There's a door right there.
Got bat nipples.
Yeah.
But no,
The nipples, yeah.
Hey, with the bat
this
card.
is his incarnation of Batman is the first time we got to see the real, like, quote unquote Dark Knight. Like, we saw the whole campy silliness of the 1966 Batman, and that's what everyone thought of as live action Batman and Frank Miller, I think, was like the kind of crowning jewel of bringing the darkness of Batman into the comics, and then we actually got to see Batman be cool.
Okay.
And I think without these, I don't think you would have got the Christopher Nolan Batmans, which are my personal favorite.
But does it still hold up today?
I absolutely think so. I watched it yesterday and I was loving it.
Does it hold up today as a Christmas movie?
Yes, because it's literally got Christmas all over it.
I think
If I'm
you know what?
judging outside the Christmas,
Yeah, outside the Christmas
But
context.
yeah, it's cooler
Even though
nostalgia.
this
It's
is
just
this-
what I brought for the topic.
It's the
Gotcha.
theme of the episode, and
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think it shouldn't have been included. But you know,
yeah,
Oh.
it's okay.
I would make the same argument for a Christmas
particulars.
story then.
it's in the title of the movie.
So it has to be in the title?
No,
Is
it
that what
doesn't
makes it a
have
Christmas
to.
movie?
No, it's just contributing factor.
Mhm.
It's got just as much Christmas in this movie that is in Christmas Story.
Okay.
The percentage of the movie that involves Christmas is the same.
Hmm.
Yet I get Batman beating up bad guys. You get a dude getting shot in his own eye.
Well, he shot his own eye.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shot his own eye.
Right.
And bitching about a toy gun the whole movie.
And opening Christmas presents, and going to visit Santa, and playing in the snow. What else?
Well, they technically
And the
stay in the snow too
turkey,
if you count.
Right.
and the
some
being
stuff.
family together. What else do we want?
Look, the penguin is
They
just
went
You,
Parade.
you have to admit, you were
There's a
stretching,
parade.
saying that yours is that much
penguin
better.
is
Christmas movie.
just Santa got hopped
He's
up
a
on
sta-
drugs.
He's a Santa stand-in.
He's a
Yeah.
pissed off Santa. There you go.
He's got homeless, and then
But hey, let's beyond that. We're obviously not going to settle the argument of Christmas movie or not. I would say, hey, let us know if you agree or disagree, and if you disagree, you're wrong. But I think we need to go back to our first item, and the rest of us can vote. So I believe you went first,
Yes.
and
The claymation / stop motion Christmas animated episodes are absolutely nostalgic because I thought they were creepy when I was a little kid, and then I got a little bit more into them as I had seen them a ton of time growing up, but then revisiting them now, nope, absolutely nostalgia.
what do you think?
I'm first vote.
Hmm?
I'm going to disagree, Mike. I'm sorry. I know Council of Mikes and all that. I
Yeah,
think it's
no.
cool. And my number one reason why is the music You cannot get around the fact that there's so many classic crooners and amazing music in a lot of these movies that if they didn't exist, you probably wouldn't have those recordings. And so, still cool to this day.
So the music's cool, but the actual
It's
show
it's-
and animation.
It's good enough. It's so
It's so good, he
Awesome
encompasses the
that it-
package.
right.
Yeah, he's like,
It-
it's like I just close my eyes and listen to the music.
well. First off, okay.
No, he does scary
he
images.
just does this.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Stop motion.
It's so cool.
Stop motion doesn't bother me at all. So I don't know where you're coming at with that, but I'm just trying to like say that's my reason.
What do you think?
So if I go by visuals, really, which is
Go by the whole
I-
package.
I get your music part, but I'm also whenever I look at something like that, which is nightmare fuel, I'm also thinking not every part of it. Some parts of it look beautiful. Other parts of it are like, how did they think that was okay that it looked like that? Like like Rudolph just has like this, like glazed eye, like the
Dead eyes.
like it's crazy eyes that are looking at you, right? Either they're dead or they're crazy. There's no in between. So I think if you kept the music, the rest of it is nostalgia, I would say. Music's great. But
So what is your vote?
Some of them
Nostalgia?
some of them didn't
I
have
think it leans
music.
towards nostalgia.
Final answer.
All right,
nostalgia.
so it's a tie here then.
And
for
Mr.
me,
Tiebreaker, yeah.
You're the tiebreaker.
I absolutely loved the Rudolph stuff growing up, and I did bring it back and reintroduce it to like
Remember,
my
I'm not
kids.
just talking Rudolph. I'm talking a lot.
I know I
It's
can't I
not
can't I
just
can't talk to all of
Rudolph.
them. I can talk to the ones I've seen.
I'm
But rewatching them as an adult, regardless of the music, because I'm doing the entire package, I'm like, that's right, the entire package. No, rewatching them as an adult, I'm like, I don't see why these were so beloved as I'm watching them now. As a kid, I was like, it's cool.
It's animated.
Yeah.
That was all the requirement needed.
Since as an adult I can't get into it as much, I have to rule on the side of nostalgia.
Oh,
Nostalgia.
breaking my heart. It's
So that claymation stuff is ruled nostalgia. Let us know what you think.
Please tell me you agree with me. Someone out there, just at least someone out there.
You can comment, or
you're gonna-
they can put it in the comments, or they can email at coolerjustnostalgia@gmail.com and tell them how much you agree with the deuce over there.
The dude.
The deuce.
Because you got Mike and Mike the Deuce.
You know, I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Did you want to hear the other name I came up with, or should
No,
that be
no, I
something
think we're
from
good.
this podcast?
I think we're good with that.
Let's
All right.
fine.
Home Alone.
Yes.
So I believe you are on the side of it's cool.
I
Do you have
absolutely
any
believe it's cool.
final arguments you want to push for everyone else?
Really, I think they discovered the gem of a kid who got put in more amazing movies later on, and then his life went crazy. So that's something else. But I think that was one of the first big child stars, like blockbuster of the blockbuster era, and then clearly centered around Christmas, going to the church, being afraid of this weird guy, old guy, the unknown. So a lot
Shovel
of
dude.
the shovel dude, a lot of very kid perspective. He's scared of the dryer or no, the furnace in the basement, which is so true to things we would be afraid of, right? That are in the dark. So those parts, I think that's what I feel like. It's like 70 to 80% still is good.
Mm.
Physical comedy also. I didn't call that out before. Physical comedy from Joe Pesci and the Todd Marvin, whatever his name was.
The Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandits, yeah.
Really good.
So I'm just gonna flat out say it. I totally agree.
Mhm.
I didn't mention it earlier. I mentioned how like we watch Elf every year because that's what my wife always loved, and so that's what we watch every year for Christmas. Every single year for probably the past 20 years, I watch Home Alone 1 and 2. That's what I watch around Christmas time. I specifically didn't mention it because I knew you were going to talk about it. So, but yes, I love the movies still to this day. I love all the John Williams stuff. I may get flack for this, but he is the second greatest movie composer of all time. And
Wait,
Number one, Danny Elfman.
no.
Zimmer?
But
Yeah,
I'm
Hans
voting
Zimmer.
cool. I'm voting cool.
Yeah.
What, you want to know who my number one is?
Yeah.
Alan Silvestri.
Oh.
I thought he was a comic book artist.
No.
Okay.
Back to the Future, Forrest Gump,
Oh, okay,
Avengers Endgame, Captain America, Ready Player One. Like he's done a ton of stuff.
Yeah. I don't agree with that. I think Howard Shore
That-
might be
Coming in a future episode. Movie composers.
A Christmas Story.
Home Alone.
All right. Well, I'm not Home Alone. You're Home
No,
Alone.
there's only one person voting.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That is a vote.
That's cool.
Let's keep
I voted
voting.
last the first time, so I thought when I voted, I was like, I'm last. So I was like, let's keep going. But
the
my
only
bad.
guy
Keep going.
he's got it all in his head, and we're just going crazy now. Home Alone. Also think it's cool. I think there's nothing too problematic about it, and like you were talking about, also, it's got that spooky factor with the basement stuff going on, and the freaking the shovel guy. Right. So that definitely gets a thumbs up for me. It's definitely got the Christmas formula, and the music. I just gotta point that out again. It's
Carol of the
great.
Bells.
By the best composer in the movie.
Shots fired.
Everybody says John Williams, and they forget about all the other ones out there.
Right. But yeah, I would say, as a kid watching it today, I bet they would love it. As an adult watching it today, I absolutely love it. It's definitely cool.
So what we're saying is your vote doesn't matter. It's being voted cool, but let us know anyway.
That's fine because I actually agree with the group. I think it's cool.
Unanimous.
I think the movie was just absolutely excellent from beginning to end. It's still relevant today because what parents can't identify with accidentally leaving a kid because your lives are always hectic. You have a big family trip and then you just leave it. And then the kid immediately is just like, this is so cool. But then something bad happens. So it's kind of scary. But then all the shenanigans happen with the wet bandits and whatnot. And then the family makes it home to him. And it's a classic all around. And then of course, you gotta say the line of keep the change, you filthy animal. Who doesn't love stuff like that that came from that movie? So it's cool.
And who doesn't love when your pizza gets delivered? He keeps knocking over your property.
Right.
Oh, he keeps running over the gnomes. Is that
The
it?
statue.
It's like a little statue of
The
a
statue,
guy.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry. A Christmas Story.
There we go. A Christmas Story. Okay, so like I said earlier, yes, nowadays it's starting to get a little long in the tooth, but I would say because of the way it's formatted in these little story bubbles that kind of go on in the show, it's easy to digest it in bite-sized pieces, which means that even if it's not the most riveting movie, it is definitely something that has its moments. So I think for what it's worth, it's definitely still cool, although it's starting to lean towards the nostalgia side.
I don't want to mess up, so I was going to wait to go last again.
I can go to
Go for it.
the order you just spoke before.
Yeah, we got
So,
no order.
I can go, and I think it's cool because it's all short stories that were made into a movie, kind of Dennis the Menace, wide towards the kid to so I appreciate that a lot, and then he gets away with it, right, with the rifle, still messes it up.
Comes up with that wonderful cover story with
Breaks
the
the
icicle.
glass, and then the icicle story, and so I feel like it's such a cool. They try to do it's so hard in movies to have that side things happen because everything has to be the main story, but things happen with the side characters with his friends group then do something weird. So it's really hard to include that. So I appreciate that they actually were able to pull that off, and you didn't think it was anything, but here's more weirdness that's happening in the neighborhood, kind of like, So I think it's cool.
All right. I also think that it's cool because not only did I love that movie growing up, we would watch it every single year as a family, but then throughout the years, even years where, because I've never been one to like watch much TV, even get to watching a ton of movies a lot of times, I will always find time to watch that. Sometimes multiple times in a single like season, holiday season. And also for me, it has a secondary like factor of like I got to introduce my wife to it. She never watched it until a couple of years ago, and her and I watched it together. And she is such a massive fan of it now, and now it's part of our tradition that we have to watch it every year, and it's fantastic every time. So definitely cool.
So I clearly picked up that both of you have been watching this since you were very young. How old were you the first time you saw it? Do you remember?
Oh, this was with my wife introducing me.
Oh, you were the one
so
introduced. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see this as a kid.
All right, I was hoping I had a throughput here. I'm probably gonna get some hate mail then. I think it's 100% nostalgia.
Oh, it's too bad your opinion doesn't matter.
I know, right? It doesn't matter at this point.
Turtle, can you go
But-
attack him?
I didn't see it for the first time until I was in my 30s. And I found it very, very boring. And I watched it again yesterday to prepare for this. That was the second time I've ever seen it. And I found myself messing with my phone more often than anything because I still find it so incredibly boring.
Wait, so you never
gotta
found a
be in the
connection
vibe
from
with it.
being a little kid
Yeah.
in all the situations, even though it's in the 30s, 40s, like you were never in any of those situations where you can find yourself like
Whether I can find a connection
a
to that
connection?
moment or not doesn't negate the fact that it's at 90 minutes. That's a very, very short movie.
yeah.
And 45 minutes in, I'm just like, oh, and I check time. I'm like, I'm only halfway through this
Send
damn thing.
all your hate mail to this guy.
Yes, send all your hate mail to cool or just nostalgia at gmail.com.
Batman guy over here just
But-
doesn't get
Oh
it.
yeah.
Just doesn't get it.
I understand that a lot of people love this movie. I get
If you
it.
didn't already have enemies in this crowd for Batman Returns,
Uh,
you now
Hey, you
have them.
cannot vote because I didn't like one of yours that
Yeah.
way.
Who's-
Here's
that wasn't in
something
the
though
rule book.
for that. Just watching it because it's a thing you want to watch is different versus thing you need to watch, and so you watched it. So there's no like those movies. It's sometimes you need to be in like the I'm gonna have fun with this kind of zone, and so you find yourself laughing at things you might not.
But I
usually
mean, the
laugh
first
at.
time I went
Yeah.
into it was literally just like, I've never seen this. I should watch it. Everyone always talks about it. It's played every single year for 24 hours. I've never seen it. And I didn't like it the first time either. It's just, movies that are just very, very slow and nothing really that significant is happening. Call it part of my ADD. I don't know, but I start being like, can I change the channel now? And I think that's part of it. It doesn't have to be like an action movie, but to me, there's nothing really happening. So because of that, I'm just like, it's nostalgia for me. But again, my vote doesn't matter. You had two cools
Were you
to
raised
my
by,
one
were you
nostalgia.
raised by wolves? Just wondering. Did you have a family? Were you
I don't
Batman?
know.
Were your parents shot when you were very little in an alley by some creepy dude? Like,
Well,
is this?
Look, wouldn't you be so much egg? Like an
If
ostrich
the
egg on his
answer was
face.
yes.
It means
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Explain
That's
everything.
really what happened.
I
Yeah,
want to
there's
know.
nothing about
really
my
shot.
parentage. If he was just like saying all this, and I'm like, actually, my parents did die when I was young. You would have just been like,
Shot in an
like,
alleyway.
No, I would have been like, that explains everything. Thank you.
So
I'm
you are
sorry
Batman.
for you. I'm sorry, but thank you. You explained it now.
Okay.
Then send him less hate if that's actually true. Otherwise,
No,
all
my,
the hate.
my parents are there.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, all the
So
hate
let's. Speaking of Batman, we'll move on to mine. I just want to preface that you are not voting whether you think it's a Christmas movie or not,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not voting
even though the theme's
because
about
you
Christmas movies.
are mad that I didn't like A Christmas Story.
Should have been disqualified. But
This-
I'm seething over here.
Yeah.
You can seethe all you
Yeah.
want
About to
because
come off
you
this
literally
chair.
need to go back and rewatch
You're
it
lucky
because there
this-
is.
Tiny
at
cat is
least-
standing between me and
Yeah,
you.
I think that movie's like an hour and 45 minutes long. There's at least half an hour of Christmas stuff in
Okay,
that movie.
I will give you that. I did not watch this in preparation, and it
But
has
I
been-
watched y'all's stuff.
It's been a very long time
Mhm.
since I've seen it, so maybe my
All right,
opinion would
so
change. But we're not
in a
judging it on
future
that.
episode, I need you to go rewatch it
Right.
and then talk to the crowd about how much Christmas is in it. But we are voting on whether it's still cool or just nostalgia for this movie. I obviously think it's cool. I love Batman in general, but there are Batman movies that I would say are not cool. But I very much like this one. It's my favorite Michael Keaton performance, and it's easily top 5 Batman movies for me.
Can I go next?
Go ahead.
I love this movie. I actually really do love this movie. I think it's great. I do think it's set during Christmas, and it's not a Christmas movie. It's using themes and stuff like that. However, I do say it's cool. However, if we ever come up with the topic of the Batmobile, that's something different. This movie is cool. Other parts of it, not so much.
Yeah.
So we'll hold on to that one.
Okay, other Mike will go next. I also think it's cool.
You mean the Deuce?
Yes, the Deuce. Sorry, right. I also think it's cool. I'm not going to try to change my judgment based on my opinion of Jeffrey over here, but
Thanks.
Well, I think it's not fair we're voting on the movie because I like the movie. I just don't think it's a Christmas movie. But,
Right.
But you got to remember, it's the item we bring.
I
We're
get
voting
it.
whether it's cool or
Yeah, see,
nostalgia.
I think
And we're bringing items based on the
You
theme.
put us in a box here.
This is a real
Jeffrey.
tough
It's unfair.
real tough first episode here.
Yeah, it's like I disagree with everything you said, but I gotta agree with the movie.
I didn't get my props.
Yeah.
Well,
I brought props.
Oh no.
I have a little mini Batmobile and a Batarang over there.
we'll have to do that as bonus content
Yep.
for the Patreon.
I'll make sure I have my props in future episodes.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, there's really cool elements about this. Very classic hero villain kind of story. The Penguin is just such an amazing, like, visually a character put together.
Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman.
Well, I mean, I don't really. I think the freaking weird sewing in her outfit is kind of strange, but I think
it's actually like staples.
yeah, well, whatever it is,
Weird enough.
It's homemade.
it's strange. And that I think that's also what's part of what's so cool about this movie is its strangeness. There's a lot of strangeness in it.
Tim Burton for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
so
Tim Burton special. I mean, Edward Scissorhands. Come on.
yeah, it holds your
Edward.
attention. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. I think it's really just a fun and well put together movie.
Well, the third time that a vote doesn't matter, but hey, Andy, your thoughts?
No. Outright, obviously, I agree. Tim Burton, for how weird it is still not Tim Burton level of weird, actually. Of like he restrained himself for the movie, I feel like. And then obviously it comes out in Penguin and some parts of Catwoman. And if you see, I don't know if you guys remember the scene when she knocks off the mannequin heads with the
with the whip.
Yeah.
I was real. She actually did it.
She learned how to use a whip.
She learned and actually did it. So Michelle Pfeiffer is badass for probably one, if not the best, probably the top 2 Catwoman. Catwoman have
Best. She's been the best. Catwoman.
I think she's the best. If no one talks, I mean, obviously there's one that was done by
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. One is just.
Don't get me wrong. I love Halle Berry, but I did not love that.
Halle
movie.
Berry is one of the baddest women ever on the face of the
Yes.
planet. And if
Yeah.
you don't believe it, go watch Hot Ones with Halle Berry and her
okay.
eating wings because she did not show up to do an interview. She showed up to do an interview and to get lunch. Like that was her words, is to get lunch, and she did that. And
I've not seen hers. I watched Hot Ones, but I haven't seen that one.
Oh, watch it. It is. She is. Yes. So yeah, she
And
wasn't. Batwoman
Keaton-
or Catwoman was not
Catwoman,
great.
yeah.
but
And I think like even later with Nolan, Catwoman also was like very like And now the new Catwoman.
Well, I love
is
how
even
like her
more
little like
emo.
vision things when she
Catwoman.
flipped them
Yep.
up, it turned into cat ears.
Mhm.
And I liked like the actual cat burglar part of it, as opposed to here.
Yeah.
She's apparently, if you die and have a cat bite your finger, you turn into a ninja. Apparently, so I liked the realistic stuff in there,
yeah.
but just the aesthetics of Catwoman and the like kind of like charisma and everything like that. I liked that.
where was the Christmas and the aesthetics of Catwoman?
Do what?
Oh, are we going back to the Christmas
Oh.
discussion?
I never said Catwoman was Christmas.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you know,
She
you're making
mentioned
the
Santa
argument
Claus
it's a
and Christmas
Christmas
several
movie.
times.
And we scrolled through all these images and didn't see a damn thing about Christmas when talking
Okay,
about this movie. So,
her leather
yeah.
outfit is very Christmas.
I won't let it go.
Yeah, I don't know how you and your wife celebrate Christmas, but
Last part of it, I think Michael Keaton almost plays it like Iron Man, kind of like rich and cool. He's not brooding. He's not like, oh, my parents died. You see the new Batman, it's like every day it looks like the parents died the day before.
Or
It's
you've
just
got-
always
you've
brooding,
got the makeup.
right?
the first time we see Bruce Wayne in this one, they put out the bat signal, and apparently he's got like 10 bat signals around his house that shine into the windows. So I don't know how people don't know he's a Batman. But he's just sitting in this huge library, just in the dark, and then a light comes, and he's like,
Which is pretty much the definition of brooding. But
yeah. So I was like, ah!
well, but
But when he's out in the world as Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
he plays a playboy, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I voted cool. Sorry, I was diving too much into it. It's pretty good.
Sweet. So I think that's episode 1 in the bag. What we will do is we're actually going to put each of these topics and pin them as a comment at the on the video on YouTube, and let people actually go and vote whether they think it was cool or nostalgia. And in a future episode, we can review that and see if the viewers agreed or disagreed with us. Please don't yell at me for saying Batman Returns is a Christmas
You're
movie.
going to get so much hate.
I am
let's
so
not
ready.
That
for
or just go watch it and
Christmas
tell
Story.
me how it is not a Christmas movie. But
Somebody in there's going to be yelling at you about like Hans Zimmer just being like so much better.
yeah, they're gonna fight me over that. John
Yeah, they will
Williams comment.
straight up come find you and fight you.
All right. Well, that was episode 1, the Christmas special of Is It
Christmas
Cool
special as our
or
first
Just
one.
Nostalgia. But again, I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Mike, the Deuce, and going first. God damn it.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Andy.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Later all.
There.
The Deuce going first. Damn it.
You should at the end you should be like, this has been a nostalgia or good episode.
This has been a nostalgia production.